anything. I did that for the sake. I did that for the sake of Allah. Sister, I want the reward in the akhirah. Don't tell me about dunya. Let me do it. Allah will give me. He understands that is stupid. He understands he just asked Allah for what? Whatever good you give me, I could use it. And the next ayah begins with the letter fa. فَجَاءَتْ إِحْدَاهُمَا تَمْشِي عَلَى اسْتِحْيَاءٍ. Ya Allah, whatever you give me, I could use it. Therefore, one of them came walking, asking to pay him. Therefore. Meaning the word therefore is there because it is the result of his dua. So he recognizes this is Allah answering his dua. When people are offering you help, idiot, it is Allah offering you help. Don't say, nahi, nahi, bas chhode. Like, you haven't found a job, nobody's calling for the resume. You meet a brother at the masjid, akhi, I heard you were looking for a job, I might have an opening. No, akhi, it's okay. You just asked Allah just sent this guy your way, and you're kicking him away, dummy. Don't become a beggar, don't beg people, but when people are offering you help, don't turn it down. It's not humiliating. It's a gift from Allah. So he says, let's go get paid. He went. He just, فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُ, and he finally got to him. وَقَصَّ عَلَيْهِ الْقَصَص. Then Musa alayhi salam, obviously homeless guy, sitting there, getting paid. The father must have asked him, so what's going on with you? Tell me what's going on. And Musa alayhi salam has a lot on his chest, yeah? He's been through a lot. And now he sees a comforting man asking him what's up. So what does he do? He tells him everything. Well, it's a kind of a long story. I was a baby, supposed to be killed, raised as a prince. Kills the whole thing. And there are two girls on the other side of the wall. Oh my God. Oh, the poor thing. And they hear the whole story. And that's how I ended up here. The girl on the other side, one of them, قالت يا أبتي. She said, Dad, Abba, Baba Jan, Papa, Daddy. And there's a ta in there, Abati. If you say Abi, it means my dad. Hey Dad, could you come here? If you say Abati, it means Dad, I love you. Come here a second. Dad, my beloved father, Pyare Abba Jan, could you come here for a second? And what does she say? Dad, I love you so much. Here's what I want you to do. Istajirhu. Hire him. Acha. Hire him. I understand. Because if he hires him, where's he going to work? At the house. Young man, ripe for marriage, working at the house all day with two unmarried girls right there. This is explosive explosive materials in close contact with each other. The only way to make the situation sane is what? At least marry one of them off to him, make him family. But she's shy to say, come on, Dad, there's not any decent guy in this whole town. I know, I checked. I go out every day. The good men are hard to find. This guy is an honest human being. And he's so strong. And he could do our work. And he could take care of the family. And I kind of like him. And that's why I was shy when I was talking to him too. And he didn't even, try to hit on me or anything when we were walking. He walked in front and he told me to walk in front and guide me. And I walked in the back. He has that much integrity. He's the right man. We're not going to find another good man again like that. Dad, hire him. Inna khayra man istajarta al-qawiyyu al-amin. The best kind of person you can hire is the strong, the honest. He's got both the qualities we need. We need someone strong who can do this work. And we need an honest man because there are no honest men around here. That's the best kind of person you could hire. Now the father, amazingly enough, understands his daughter's code. He says, I got you, girl. I'll take care of you. He comes back out, and what do you expect him to say? I'd like to hire you. What does he say? Inni uridu an unkiha ihdabnatayya hatain. I want to marry one of my two girls to you. He understands his daughter or no? And by the way, the proposal came from the boy or came from the girl? Astaghfirullah al-azim. The proposal came from the girl. And she told her dad, I like that boy. And the dad, and she was shy to say it, so she said it in code. And what was her code? Hire him. And the dad was not dumb. He was a wise man. So he understood her code, and he translated it properly, and went out and said, listen, I'd like to marry one of my 2 girls to you. But also, first of all, the first astaghfirullah is the girl proposed. The second astaghfirullah is that the girl actually has had more time with him than the dad has. Outside. She's seen him outside. She's seen him in the real world. The dad's only had a conversation with him. That's it. That's all he's had. The third astaghfirullah is that he doesn't have a job. He's homeless and also an illegal immigrant. You understand, right? Not to mention, this is Madian, which means they are Arab, and he's Israeli. You understand this? And the girl says, I want to marry an Israeli believer who is homeless, who has run away and he's wanted for murder, but he's an honest guy. The only thing going for him. And dad says, I think you're right. So I say, young men who are not married, show of hands, young men who are not married, okay, it's okay. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Have some hope. When you go talk to her father, at least you haven't killed anyone. If it worked out for him, it'll work out for you. You just have to be strong and what? Honest. Those are the 2 things required of you. 2 things. Very hard to find, by the way. Those 2 things. People present a fake version of themselves when marriage talks are happening. They're not honest about who they are. And their families lie on their behalf too. There's lying going on left and right. And it's so ugly. And it's so simple in our religious honesty. Even if something bad happened, just be honest about it. Just let people know. Let them know. So he says, I want to marry one of my 2 girls to you. Ala an ta'jurani. In exchange for you working for me. Oh my God, the next astaghfirullah al-azim is that Musa alayhi salam worked for his in-laws. And he lived with his in-laws. We say in our culture, you can't be a real man and live with your in-laws. I would like you to say that to Musa alayhi salam. See how that works out for you. Because if you're challenging the manhood of Musa alayhi salam, then you are free to say, a real man don't live with his in-laws. A real man is not hired by his father-in-law. This is shattering so many cultural assumptions that we have put on ourselves that make our life difficult. So many. People are humiliated for no reason. Anything a prophet does becomes noble. If Musa alayhi salam did it, it is noble. It is acceptable. Far beyond acceptable. It's noble. It's noble. But now, Joru ke ghulam, Susral ke ghulam. We have all these things to say to these people. You have to respect people's circumstances. And now in the midst of all of this, was there extensive family conversations? No, let's discuss this with your khala, and then khala's pupi, and then chachi, and chachi's tai, and my barber, and then we'll have several meetings. Is there any of this complication here? Girl pulls dad in, dad hire him, he says, gotcha, he comes out, okay, you know what, done deal. Why don't you work for me for 8 years? Why 8 years? He asks for 8 years because, first of all, Musa is homeless. Even if he does marry her, then there's going to be 2 homeless people. So he needs to give them a home. And if it's 8 years, it'll be enough time for him to save up some money for himself, start a family. And if he stays for 8 years, then it gives the father 8 more years to find a boy for who? The other girl. This solves all these problems all at the same time. It gives Musa a chance, alayhi salam, to build his independence. And Musa turns around and says, هَذَا مَا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكَ. This is between you and me. Done deal. I like it. And by the way, the father added one more thing. وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ أَشُقَّ عَلَيْكَ وَإِنْ أَتْمَمْتَ عَشْرًا فَمِنْ عِنْدِكَ وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ أَشُقَّ عَلَيْكَ. By the way, if you want to work for me 10 years, you could do that too. You could do 8 or you could do 10. By the way, you would think that father's being aggressive. But actually the father's being kind. Because 8 to 10 years of free housing, with a job, with a family, for a guy who's basically what? Homeless. This is all to the advantage of Musa alayhi salam. They're both benefiting from this. Okay? And he's looking out for Musa alayhi salam as much as he is for his own daughters. Musa alayhi salam says, this is a deal between you and me. أَيَّمَا الْأَجَلَيْنِ قَضَيْتْ فَلَا عُدْوَانَ عَلَيَّ. Whichever one of the two deadlines I am able to meet, then don't be hating on me. Okay, if I do 8 and want to go away, don't say, don't take my girl, come on. I thought you were going to do 10. You can't put any pressure on me. What are we learning in this ayah? In-laws should not put pressure on the son-in-law. It's in the Quran. And vice versa, by the way. And vice versa. And he says, Wallahu ala ma naqulu wakil. Allah is watching over whatever we say. Two people get married in the story. How do they get married? The boy meets girl outside, but doesn't do anything inappropriate. Doesn't date her, she gets to see him act and check his integrity in a situation where he was not on the spot. He had no idea. And then, when they do talk, who's in the middle? Who's the intermediary between the boy and the girl? The girl's father. The girl's father is in between the boy and the girl. Who is not mentioned? Mother's not mentioned. Are the boy's parents mentioned? No. Is he going to wait and say, hold on, let me just call my mom? Can I get married? And then, quote, he married without the permission of what? His mother. Didn't he? This is kind of bad. Some people are getting nervous as I say this. Don't listen to this part. But relax. I'm not telling you to get married without the permission of your parents. Listen first. What I'm trying to tell you is, in the ideal circumstance, the primary communication between both sides should happen by who? As advised by the Quran. Should happen by who? The father. The father should facilitate communication between his daughter and the son-in-law. You understand? The primary negotiations are happening. The father is representing his daughter, and the father is making a deal with the son-in-law. The two people that are having the most conversation are the father and the son-in-law. And the father, of course, first has consent from who? His daughter. Has trust and consent and open communication with his daughter. You with me so far? When you have this kind of a situation, then you have clear communication. You have absolutely clear communication. What do we have in our culture at the moment? Who gets involved in the marriage conversation first? The father? 99% of the time, the father is completely uninvolved. Boy comes up to dad, there's this girl. Yeah, talk to your mother, boy. And girl's side, by the way, you can't even propose a boy, because it's bad. It's bad for a girl to propose a boy. Which, by the way, the Quran shattered by what? In this story, what happened? The girl suggested a boy. There's nothing wrong with that. Allah's book says there's nothing wrong with it, auntie. There's nothing. Besti hoti hai, nahi hoti besti. Nahi hoti besti. It's okay, relax. Calm down. It's in Allah's book. Now, especially when the boy's mother is involved. Let's talk about when the boy's mother is involved. See, they say in Arabic, al-qirdu fi ayni ummihi ghazal. They say a monkey in the eyes of his mother looks beautiful like a gazelle. So to you, to your mother, you are perfect. Uski to naak dekho. Uski to check out his nose. Check out his mashallah. And then some girl, they're talking to some family, and she's going to say, this one, her chin is too wide. This one's too short. This one's too fat. This one put the chai in the wrong place. This one didn't say wa alaikum assalam loud enough. This one, the mother somehow finds something wrong with everyone. And you go through 20 proposals and the mom's got this rocket launcher. Like she just takes them all out. No problem. And this kid's like, my mom's not happy with anybody. And then the moms have also learned to develop some pretty overly dramatic statements. If you marry that girl, you are no longer my son. In ummahatuhum illallahi waladnahum. You can't change that. Your moms are the ones who gave you birth. Mom, you can say that, the lines you memorized from the Pakistani drama, all you want. I'm still your son. You can't change that. And every time moms get overly emotional, who's supposed to be the voice of reason? The father. But you go to the father and say, you're making your mother angry, boy. I don't want to hear anything. The guy who's supposed to understand says, I don't want to deal with it because I've been dealing with your mom long enough. You's in trouble with her. You keep that going. I ain't got nothing to do with this. So we've got ourselves a very bad situation because our children, adults that are going to college, that are in their 20s, that are in their 30s. I met a case not too long ago. A girl was 35. She likes this guy. She wants to marry him. You can say astaghfirullah all you want, but they've been talking to each other for 5 years. It's too late for that. She wants to marry him. The father says, I'll never let you marry him. Listen to me. Listen to me. Who should she marry? Who deserves to marry her? She's emotionally attached to this other man. Why should she? Why does any other decent guy deserve her? Why? Would you want to know that your wife was emotionally involved with somebody else before you got married? It doesn't make any sense. They've already made up their mind. They're 35 years old. They're not kids. And the guy's like, I don't know how to convince. I wanted to slap him so hard across the face. Like, what is wrong with you people? You have to be, first of all, we have to treat the people that are old enough to get married, have to see themselves as adults, and their parents have to see them as adults, not as kids. Mere bacche ki shadi. It's not your bacche ki shadi. He's a bada gada now. It's like a huge, like he's not like bacche ki shadi, like, he's a man. He's a man. Let him make his decisions. And now, let me add one last thing here. One last thing. Because we have to clean this mess up. It's too ugly. It's too dirty. And that we look for all the wrong reasons to get somebody married. All the wrong reasons. And the last of them is the guy actually likes the girl. That's not even in the consideration. Or at least the girl likes the guy. You have to like someone when you marry them. You're going to spend 50 years with them. You're going to spend 70 years with them. It's okay. Like Dr. Akram Nadwi says, it's not my words, it's his words, because he could say it, because he's a muhaddith. And I can't say it. It's okay to like someone. When a muhaddith says, I was like, are you sure that's... Did anybody else hear that? Yes, it's okay. And then Dr. Akram went further. I love that man. He's my teacher. I love him. It's okay. You can fall in love. Just don't do haram things. Just get married. Oh, it goes that simple. But we've complicated this thing far too much. My last criticism, this boy calls me, Brother Nouman, I have a problem. I said, what's her name? How did you know? I said, I've been around the block, bro. Just tell me, how long has it been going on? 3 years at college. She's a really good secretary at the MSA. I was like, oh, save me the details. What's the problem? Well, I want to marry her. Okay, go ahead. Can I go now? No, don't hang up. Actually, the problem is that she can't tell her family. I was like, okay, fine, you tell her family. No, I can't. I have to tell my family first. Okay, I was like, okay, fine, easy. Tell your family. No, my mom would kill me. Okay. I think I know what your problem is. Go to the local Walgreens. In the baby section, there's a product called Similac. I want you to purchase Similac, the red one. Don't get the green one. It gives stomach aches later. Get the red one. Get a bottle. There's an 8 millimeter bottle. Milliliter bottle. Get that. Put 2 teaspoons. Mix in with tap water. Heat it up in the microwave 40 seconds. You don't need more than that. Shake well. Sit in a corner and suck on the bottle until you become a man. And then you can talk to your mother. And we can continue this conversation. If you're old enough and you have someone in mind, young man, instead of telling her you like her, tell your family, tell her family. Don't create problems for yourself and for her. Do the dignified thing. Take the right approach. The girl liked Musa alayhi salam, and that's okay. It's fine. It's okay to like someone. But she did the right thing. What did she do? Talk to her dad. And her dad did the right thing because he trusted her daughter, his daughter. We have to open up communication with our daughters. Our daughters have the right to like someone. They have the right to like someone. It's not against their dignity. It is something Allah put in human nature. So if they're coming to you and saying, Baba, there's this, the khutbah at the MSA last week was amazing. It's not about a khutbah. Who gave the khutbah? His name's Abdul Kareem, 5'10". Is he giving khutbah again next week? Actually, no, 3 weeks from now. It's a full calendar. She doesn't need you to hear the khutbah. She's trying to tell you something. Stop being dumb and listen. Go to the khutbah. Go to the boy afterwards. Nice khutbah, young man. Can I join you for lunch? Okay. And have a chat. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Especially in a circumstance where we are. Your neighbors aren't Muslim. Your co-workers aren't Muslim. You don't meet Muslims anywhere else. The vast majority of people around you are non-Muslims. So if these girls and these boys are going to university, they're going to work, and they see a good possible candidate, and they want to take the halal option, the right road, then we have to open that road for them. Instead of shutting it down. And when you shut it down, then you know what happens next, right? You know what happens next. The fitna that happens in our community is horrifying. It's horrifying. You cannot pretend that it's not there. No, we come from good family. Stop it. It doesn't matter what family you came from. Raging hormones are raging hormones. لَيْسَ فِي الْحُبِّ مَشُورًا. When you get obsessed over a girl or a boy, then you don't want to hear any advice anymore. We don't want them to have to think the only way they can have a relationship with someone is if they hide it from their parents. This is the problem. We've made this conversation scary. We've scared our children from having this conversation. If you're going to live in this society, you better open up. And you better openly have that conversation with your kids. Openly. So they feel like they can talk to you about anything and they don't have to hide anything from you. You don't have to constantly check their cell phones. You don't have to do that. You don't have to just barge into their room. Kisse baat kar rahe ho? You don't have to do that because they're open with you. They don't have to take that road. Open the halal so they don't have to pursue the haram. You might think this is controversial. It's not at all. And this is it's how our history was. We've somehow deviated course and made things difficult upon